welcome to my channel. Today's video is about a very personal, very important part of homeschooling journey, that is books. No, it's not about teaching phonics to kids or how I taught my kids to read. No, it is about why and how I started reading books to kids and why it is important and what kind of books I read when they were babies, when they were toddlers, when they were preschoolers, and now when they're 6-year-old, what kind of books I read. So just setting the expectation, right. So starting my journey is in 2013, when my first daughter was born. I did not know anything about reading books. I am an avid book reader, but I did not know about reading books to kids. I had no idea about it. I knew that kids read books and they have kid books and all, but what is the role of a parent for reading books to kids? Why do we do it? I didn't have any answer. I did not know what to do. So it's a very basic thing which my mom taught me. She's my first parenting guru before I touched any parenting book. She taught me that, if you want to connect to your child, if you want your child to talk to you, you need to talk to her. I'm like, what do you talk to a 1-week-old baby? And mom said, anything you want to talk. Tell her a story, tell her a song, just talk anything, just talk. And this talking thing is something which was very difficult for me because I'm a very introvert person in a way. I don't talk, like it's hard for me. My husband is a storyteller, my mom is a storyteller. Without reading anything, just like that, they can make stories in the air and talk. Wow, I could not do that. But I could see, first 3-4 months when my baby was with my mom, we were together. My mom was taking care of me. So I saw that how my baby connected with my mom, while my mom will change her diaper, when my mom will give her a bath, and just like that she'll be sitting, lying on the bed, and my mom will be talking something to her, and then she'll respond to my mom. And I could see that there's a connect to a baby that is required. Just changing diaper and feeding the baby and putting her to bed was not giving me that connection which my mom was getting, because my mom was talking to her, And this thing I've realized all these years, that the more I read books to them or the more I talk to them, you build a connection. And now that is what, if you're a storyteller by nature, amazing for you. You don't need to read books to them. You can just tell them stories and stories and stories, and they'll be happy. But I could not. So that's why I had to introduce books to them so that I can read, I can talk, I have some material to talk to them. That is what was a basic aim of me, to, I have something to talk to them, because I'm not a natural talker kind of person. That I did not know what to talk to a baby. I had no idea. So that is why my journey started, because I wanted to connect to my child, and it is applicable till now. Even my 6-year-old can read Harry Potter herself. I still read books to her, just to connect to her, just to let her connect with me, just so that she cuddles with me and talks about the characters and laughs when I read a funny character to her. And it is a way of connection to a child who is pretty independent now, but we still connect when it comes to books. So that's how our journey started. So coming to when my baby was 3 to 4 months, that's the first time I ordered books for her. So Amazon India was where I ordered, and actually now I don't have baby books. I have mostly donated them because my kids have outgrown, but I still have few books which are the childhood favorite, and I'm still not to buy it. So I'll share those books with you. So basic books of these. This is animals book, because myself, I'm an animal lover, and this is something my personal choice. I wanted my kids to learn all the animals, and I have animals, birds, this basic books which I like. You teach kids whatever things kids can so really like. So my kids could see dogs because my parents had dogs. They could see buffaloes we had around, and cats, which are in Singapore also. We have cats and dogs every single house they have. So these animals they could see. We used to go to zoo. I'm talking about the first year, okay? So these animals books. This is one of the first books. So there was a series, 12 books I got, and so one I kept as a memory. Rest of the books I donated. So this was one. This again, it was a sound book. It's a very simple story book, but it's a sound book and it's a touch and feel book. So this is one of the special memories I kept of the kids. And then there were these kind of, it's like If You Were My Bunnies. It's a very sweet book of a mama and a baby, where how mama puts to bed, and you can sing this as more on a singing form. So basically, when a child is very small, up to age of few months to maybe 1 year old, you need to talk, sing to them. I felt my kids connected to more of singing and rhyming things, because it has to be fun. It cannot be a story, because they will sleep by that time, you know. By the time you finish a Jack and the Beanstalk story, they'll sleep. So I use very simple books. So this was also one of the first book I had, of One Fish, Two Fish. So very funny. It's a long one. It's a very long one, but it's not a one full story. You read only a few pages, and it's all rhyming and just no sense rhyming kind of stuff. So yeah, this is one of the books. And this book, which their father bought, I've talked about in my videos again, Nursery Rhymes. That's one of their favorite books till now. It's all singing. So no wonder that for the small babies, you always sing rhymes, because they have rhyming and they have music. And when you're singing rhyming, you're generally happy, and a child relate to you when she sees a happy face and you're singing and dancing like that. So these are the first books which I read when my child was like till 1.5. These are the kind of books. And also I mean, you pick up any book which is like short, which is funny, which makes you smile, because child is connecting to your face, not to the book exactly, you know. She's looking at you. So choose this kind of books which you connect, which make you feel happy, and the child can connect to you directly. So then came the next phase when it was like 1.5 year old, and that's the time when we started homeschooling also, in the sense they were ready for school. I did not send. So what kind of things I had to read to them, and so my choice of books changed that way, because somewhere I was focused, what they learn in a school and what kind of thing, and their attention span was also more. I'm talking about elder one, so her attention was more, so I could read little long story books to them. So like one of my favorite authors when it comes to preschoolers, or like 2 to 4 years, is Julia Donaldson. I have almost all the books, and I've read most of the books of library or something. So Julia Donaldson is our all-time favorite. So like Room on the Broom, we have Gruffalo, we have all Julia Donaldson. They're very simple books, very easy rhyming, and very sweet books. Even if I read, and these all books are still in my library because we read it. We still read them, and they love it. And it talks about very practical. You got a witch, a dog, a cat, a castle, a parrot. Very simple thing which a child can relate to. There's nothing she has to put. There's no cognitive load on a child, So it's perfect for 2-year-old who doesn't think much, but just relate to simple happenings of life. And then I had this Corduroy, a very simple and sweet story. Then we started reading some. So this Gruffalo is also one of Julia Donaldson, very famous books we have. And then also one kind of books I started was I Spy books. So this is a complicated version, because there's like bigger book, but very smaller I Spy book. So like the 4 pictures in the page, and I'll ask my girl that, can you, like for example, now there are so many things to search, but I Spy books for babies or kids also come with like 4 things to search. Okay, can you find a sheep? And then she'd say, oh, this is a sheep. So like that, these books help in literary part of also of a child, spotting the animals, responding, questioning, answering, and then we can see that the child is actually connecting to a book. And then we started with stories also, because again, the child has attention span. So we read like Runaway Pancake, we have Chicken Licken, we have 3 Little Pigs, Flower Princess, Goldilocks, a lot of stories. And then our famous was Very Hungry Caterpillar. So because we read stories, and stories is something which a child connects to, and all these stories have some theme. What I love about these all fairy tales, they are like age-old fairy tales, but they always have something to learn. Even now, my kids listen to fairy tales on audiobooks, and there's always a learning that, did the Goldilocks did correct thing that she ran away from the house, or she should have apologized for breaking their bed? How did the flower, why this witch was upset with the flower? You should be jealous of how some beautiful looks. Or 3 Little Pigs, you have to work hard and build a strong house. Chicken Licken, again, you should not just believe in people. You have to think and figure out the stuff yourself. And the Runaway Pancake is like all the animals and what happens to Clever Fox. So every fairy tale has a meaning. But one thing you have to check now, because fairy tales are not original, every publisher has his own version. So always check like what is the end of the story, how the story, which is a good publisher. Like simple example. So like this version of 3 Little Pigs, in this one the 2 pigs die, and my girl did not like it. She still doesn't like it, doesn't like the story. But then we found in the library a version where the 2 little pigs run to the 3rd pig house and 3 pigs are saved. So that's what it is. Also from Ladybug Tales, and again like very common, very famous on Amazon, but my child did not like it. So before you get these books, just check the reviews and everything, that they should not have something which might hurt your child, because they're just publishing, but you need to know your child and see would your child like it or not, just small things. And then we also started reading about science books. Like this is again from Usman First Reading, so it's about bears. Then we very basic animal details: where do they live, what do they eat, and like we have snails, we have solar system, all the basic things. Like all these books, if you see, they are picture books plus little text, because till the child is like 3 to 4 years, he's not going to read, and even when I used to read these books to my kids, they'll come and point fingers to this one and focus on the picture part. And it's very important that picture should be enchanting to a child rather than the text. So in these ages, you don't worry about how much scientific, how much clear concept they're telling. No, you are just reading some text, introducing some scientific fact along with the fairy tale. So 2 to 4 I'll keep on that age, where a child is interested to read, trying to figure out the things, but still don't overwhelm or don't overload a child. They don't have that much attention span. So that come to this age. Along with that, I had a very famous, my favorite book is about festivals of India, because we live in Singapore, and we don't celebrate much festivals. I'm not really that kind of person, but still it talks about all the festivals of India and Christmas and Holi, and just like that. It is a very loaded book, but still it gave me an idea to, I know the stories myself, so I could make the stories to them, skip one paragraph, tell them why do we celebrate it. So it helped us a lot when they'll visit temple, or when they start asking questions or observing things. It helped them to connect when we go back to India, because this is not something they see the first time, a Shiva statue, or the first time a goddess in their grandma's house. So it's just these kind of books. So there is no hidden rules. ये books अच्छी होती हैं, ये books अच्छी नहीं होती हैं. You need to see what you want to teach, what you can connect to, what a child can connect to. You get a book where child cannot connect anything, it doesn't make any sense. So a child has to be, you have to buy a book thinking of a child and thinking of yourself and the connection between you and your child and the surroundings. So, but yeah, there are some golden rules of fairy tales and everything that works all the time. And then above 4-year-old, my 4-year-old has started reading, basic reading, and she was ready for more content kind of data. So I have got these ones. So I again sharing my favorite authors. Okay, so like Berenstain Bears, it's never a fail. I have almost 7 to 8 books of this, and everyone is a hit. So Berenstain Bears is again someone who is morally inclined. They talk about real lessons. There are 2 baby bears and Papa and Mama in the real life scenarios. They fight with their friend. They do not do school homework, or they go to a dentist, or they go to a fire station. And what happens? There's an accident home. It's about lying. Many very practical life lessons which a 4-year-old can understand, is actually applicable to you. And this thing also, my mom always taught me that a child will learn with example. So even if you can't set an example, these books help you to set an example, that when the baby bear lied, what happened? Should we lie in our life? So you don't blame a child, or you don't argue with a child, but you tell a story about it. When a child listens to a story, all the good character values automatically go in them. At least you have a topic to discuss. So that is why these kind of books are very, very important. Apart of fairy tales are also good, but these are the books I'll recommend. That Berenstain Bears are like very, very good character building books. Then again, the Magic School Bus. So again, it has different kind of different variety of books. Some books are like can be applicable to 4 to 5-year-olds. Some are really high level. I have some solar system, I have spider, I have a immunity thing, germs. So this is also a very good science book in a fun way, if you are looking for introducing the basic science concepts to 4 to 5-year-old. I like this series. And this is again Berenstain Bears about pollution. And then this is about again very basic, Usman solar system. Very, very basic book, very basic. Just introduce the concept of solar system, what is sun, what is earth, what is water, and so basic science also you can cover, because we are homeschooling. So I was doing everything at home, and again, because of homeschooling, I was not doing any written or science or curriculum stuff. I was just reading books to them. So that's why these books became very, very handy and important to me. And then we start with the big story books. Like it's a Jack and the Beanstalk. It's a fairy tale, but it's like very much detailed. Look, it take me 30 to 40 minutes for me to read this book. So, but yeah, after 4 to 5 years, they have the patience to listen to it and go to the details of it. So then again, I have this one again. You're Going in a Bare Hand, very famous book, Rainbow Fish series, and then there's Iggy Peggy Architect. So I have collected all these books in all these 6 years, and my basic aim is that talk to your child if you can verbally. Like my husband is a storyteller, he tells stories to them, sometimes college stories, sometimes school stories, sometimes fictional stories, all by himself because it comes natural to him. But I cannot. So these books help me to connect to my child. Reading is just connecting. If you don't want to read, I mean, if you can't read, just sit with them and tell them stories. So when I'm homeschooling, this, for me, the bookshelves are my backbone. Even pandemic, what is happening, whenever I'm very sad, whenever I'm upset, when I'm tired, I just cuddle with them and read a book. It just calms them down. So that is how I relate books to our life, and that is a place you should have books in your life. That books are not for reading the textbooks. Textbooks will lead all our life, but these are the books which the kids will build memories on. And one last part of the books I want to show you is the read alouds. So all these are read alouds only because I'm reading them, but when the kid is a little older, I would like to read chapter books to them, and I'll recommend some of because some people are here are like 6 to 7 year old kids. So Charlotte Webb, Tarantula in My Purse, that was my first read aloud chapter book. So these are the books which do not have pictures, or they're black and white, like this. My favorite book, even my elder one's favorite. We have Alice in Wonderland, we have Your Turn, we have The Courage of Sarah Noble, we have Sudha Murthy's books. They're also very child friendly. Charlie Amiral, it's also a very famous author, and Pippi Longstocking. So I'm just telling you, these are the books I still read to my 6-year-old, and even my 5-year-old has getting bored of the Berenstain Bears and all. So these are the books I picked up for my 5 to 6-year-old. They are chapter books. My 5-year-old cannot read, but I read. These stories are these authors have written really inspirational, really character building stories, and very entertaining in very simple and good language, good vocabulary. I mean, I just can't explain how much I'm in love with these books now, which I did not read when I was a kid. I had studied in Hindi school. मेरी English भी अच्छी नहीं थी, और I mean, our time, who reads books? यार, we didn't have Amazon that time. But I'm just telling you, this is something which will help you to connect to your child. So read and read and read, howsoever old your child is, and that's the way you connect to your baby, or to your preschooler, or maybe your primary school kid. So that's all I wanted to share. That read your books to your kids. Bye bye.